Attention. We now have control of your streaming device.
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land? How you doing tonight? Happy Tuesday. Happy New Year.
Happy fucking New Year.
Hello, my darlings. How you guys
Or
doing?
as the Chinese place around the corner from me says, Happy New York. I swear to
New
God.
York, yeah.
Happy
yeah.
New York.
Happy New York. Well,
Yep.
Where I was for the New Year, they say Feliz Año Nuevo, Señor. And yeah, down in Mexico. So
That translates to listen to cultivation conversation, right?
It does. I slapped up a couple stickers, around. No, I didn't. But dude, it was awesome. Really great vacation. If you were following any of the stories, I'm sure you saw. I don't want to get too much into it, but like, it was quite an adventure. I can say that much. Man, yeah,
Yeah, man. Pictures look sick. Stories and stuff you were shared.
thanks. Yeah. Oh, dude, it was awesome, and thank God I was able to bring down that little vape pens, from the dispensary. It's a lifesaver.
Oh yeah, brother.
Did it last you
Lifesaver.
the whole time?
Well, I mean, like, with a budget of like 1/2 gram cartridge per day. Yeah, they did. Like, I had to like overshoot, I guess, how much you're actually going to need. God, last thing I wanted to do was like run out of my only supply of THC. My brain
a
would
legitimate
just,
concern.
yeah,
Absolutely.
like start misfiring, wouldn't know what to do. And plus you want to, maintain. For me, it's legitimately like I want to maintain my sleep schedule and my eating habits and stuff, like, especially when you're down at the resort, getting all that fancy food. So, man, it was just like, what can I do to just keep myself kind of going? And it did the trick, but ain't nothing like a good old fashioned bong, I'll tell you.
Hell yeah.
Or a cone. Yeah. Man, I had a cone ready to go, like in the car. It was, got me so fucking high. Like,
you put one in the car, so like, dude, when I fucking hit this car, I'm getting ripped. Yeah, that's good planning right there.
As
I fucking
get
like
into
it.
this car after the shuttle back to the hotel at the airport. As soon as I'm at my car, I can light up that big old cone. And
I bet you that was like the best joint you smoked in fucking years.
I mean,
because you're
yeah,
absolutely, sick,
man. It tasted amazing too, like that, because I've just been puffing on that fucking extract all week, and like some of them tasted okay, like, but ain't nothing like real weed, I'll tell you.
I agree.
Effects and flavor. So, cheers to that.
Cheers, brother.
Personalized tours of all of the bathrooms at the resort. That was like spot on.
Now, did you make sure to go around and drop heat in each single bathroom?
I mean, as much as I possibly could, man. The bathrooms, that was, I mean, for me, G3, like, the baños is what, like, separates the, like, one resort from another, from, like, one establishment.
That's your bougie level? Your bathroom is your bougie level?
Yeah, like, take me Take me to the baño, senor, and let me gaze upon the throne which you provide me, and I shall judge your establishment based on the cleanliness and the facilities provided therein. I mean, dude, I didn't use put it this way. There's no paper towel dispensers or hand like those shitty fucking blowers they give you, the whatever it is, the Excelsior, the Dyson. I hate those things. But yeah, no, just fancy rolled up nice like hand towels all day, just hand towels. So
Lovely.
Oh,
Super
yeah.
bougie.
and the toilet paper, wow, soft, very soft. But I mean,
You doing like a TP commercial?
very. It wasn't Charmin. I don't know. It was some
Yeah.
it was some like the high quality Mexican brand. But man, very good stuff.
It's funny when G3 mentioned you judge your bouginess by your bathrooms, right? Well, think about it. Like the bathroom's usually like the last place people will like soup up in an establishment in a house. So when you see a sick ass bathroom, it just goes to show you that like no dollar was spared here to make this place, or no peso.
Yeah, no peso was spared at all, man. No, truly, and definitely not the kind of place where like I would have been able to score Mota very easily. Like it's just not, wouldn't have been in the cards, I don't think. So like again, just super glad I was able to just, it looks like my regular vape that I use. So
Nice, brother.
snuck right in and kept me going. But man, it was a time, I'll tell you that much. Like, I don't know, most of the United States experienced the fucking, what are they called? The bomb cyclone. Like some scary name for just a cold weather event, but the cold weather followed us to Mexico. So like our original flight was canceled. And all flights going out of Philly were canceled that day pretty much. And like, even though I, wearing my captain's hat at the airport, it really did nothing for the customer service experience. They still treated me kind of like shit.
Do you know who I am?
Like, just I was demanding to see managers left and right. They're just like, I'm a captain. They're like, well, what airline do you fly for? I don't fly, and I'm not that kind of captain, but I'm still a captain, damn it. And I'll have you know that the Captains Association will hear about this. We will not be happy. No, I didn't do that. But it was a fucking, what can you do, And as soon as we got there, like the cold weather had followed us, and it was like 60 degrees for the first 2 days and rainy, but like then the sun came out and it was like, so nice. So yeah, it was a hell of an experience. Oh
yeah, brother. Nice. Glad you had a good time.
Thank you.
Nice
What's
to
your
get away,
favorite
man.
part besides the bathrooms?
Besides the bathrooms, so it might sound corny, right? But like we saw this Espectacular show, they call it, right? Which is kind of like a consolidated history of like Mexico, and we were down in the Yucatan, so it's like a very Mayan centric history. And then it was kind of like songs and dance, like a Broadway level production quality of, the history of the region and the people and the culture, man. And it's just fucking fascinating to me. Like, I mean, the Mayan people are one of those like super mysterious, groups of ancient people, like one of the coolest ancient civilizations, if you ask me. They know like next to nothing about them, and like they kind of just like disappeared and then reappeared in a different spot. And man, they knew so much about the stars and the environment they lived in. I mean, they built incredible shit like in the middle of the jungle. I mean, we saw the ruins at Tulum, which is amazing, but like it was a small town of theirs, like a little trading port on the coast. Go look at some of the bigger Mayan sites. It's fucking mind blowing. And yeah, just like we were able to get outside the resort and explore the region a little bit. We saw cenotes. You know what those are?
Nope.
It's like so like the whole place is built on like limestone, right? So when the rain falls, there's no rivers there either, like above ground rivers. It's all like underground rivers.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll carve out like a tunnel, make a long tunnel, and then like eventually they'll collapse and form like a sinkhole. In a lot of places there's access to these underground rivers at the surface. They call them cenotes down there, and it's kind of like the Mayans interpreted that as like the portal to the underworld, you know, like that's where like the souls go after they rip their hearts out on top of the pyramid, you know, and which they did, by the way, like with children specifically. It was fucking brutal, man. They talked us all about it. There was 5 days, okay? Like they would take the sacrificial kids were all born on the same 5 days every year, okay? And all across the empire. They'd have to bring all the kids in that were born on these 5 days as soon as they turned like 8 or something, or 9 years old. I forget. And I was like, wait, which 5 days? Which days were they? Like, I have to know. I have to know if I would have been a sacrifice, you know?
Mm-mm.
And it was always the same 5 days, too. And it was like this, like, they called it, they had a term for it in their mythology. And it was considered an honor, too, you know? Like, the parents would bring their kids. It was like blessings were bestowed upon them for giving their kids. And it was the August 8th to the 13th were the days. And I'm pretty close, but not in those 5 days. So I'm like, thank fucking God, you know?
Wow, you know what's a little weird about that? I'm not trying to get like morbid or anything. That was my brother's birthday, who's no longer with us. One of those days.
Man. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. He was just a Mayan sacrifice.
Yeah, it's weird.
No, not to joke about a serious
dude,
subject,
like,
man.
come on, man. You know it's pretty hard to fucking offend me, dude.
I know.
The Mayans have a completely different calendar.
Yeah, this is true. The Mayan calendar.
Mayan
so does
calendar.
it still equate to August, whatever?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I would imagine that like.
But they just make that shit up for the tourists.
Well,
What 5 days? I'm gonna tell you.
It's a lunar
August
calendar.
Something.
Possibly, like a different tour guide would have like made up something
They're
completely
just making
different.
shit up to make you happy.
I don't fucking know. Probably that's what I would have done if I was the tour guide. Put it that way.
Here's the real question, and this will sum it all up. Would you go back?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like
to that same resort, or would you look for a different one?
I would totally go back to the same resort I was at. There was nothing I could have asked for to be any better. I mean, the food was really nice. The beach was great, you know, nice pool. And the baños. My God, the baños. Incredible. But no, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. So thank you all for waiting for me to come back and not, you know, trying to replace me while I was gone or anything. I appreciate it.
We ain't replacing you.
We tried. Nobody wanted it.
No one wanted it. I know. All the captains were at the airport, like having to be rescheduled elsewhere. I mean, there was chaos across the nation, man. The Captains Association was very stressed out.
Nationwide captain shortage.
Yeah, even the impersonators were getting calls for like, we need someone here that looks authoritative. Just put on a hat and let's go. No,
we so should have took a fucking still shot like of you just like where you're sitting right now, and you just put it up and did a show with you smiling like that the whole time. That would have been the funniest thing ever, actually.
Probably would have worked, dude. Probably would have worked. But dude, I mean, again, I couldn't ask for anything more out of a trip away. And yeah, I mean, got to learn a lot about a civilization that, other than my own, that is like lost to history. But man, the people are still there doing, kind of the same stuff. There's like there's over 100 languages still spoken down there, like most of which they're just like, they don't even know. They're not written down. Like people just town to town. The jungle's so dense that some towns just don't even like interact with the ones around them and stuff. It's fucking wild. Yet
That's cool.
the people 1,000 years ago were able to like, or even more than 1,000 years. Shit, the Mayans go back to like 300 AD. They were building pyramids in the jungle as far as, I mean, almost 2,000 years ago when you think about it. The power of child human sacrifice. Just incredible.
It is pretty crazy.
No,
seriously,
don't go down that path. No,
We do
don't
not
do that.
condone or support
Don't
killing
go down that
children for
path.
blessings from the gods.
There's
Thank
some
you.
dark magic involved, I'll tell you, man. Like for real. And then like the Spanish showed up, the whole history. Like that you asked, my favorite part, the history and like this performance we saw kind of blended all of this stuff together, man. Like the Mayans were there doing this crazy, kind of cool, interesting shit, but very dark, very dark. Could speculate all you want about like dark magic, really, like black magic, and maybe some like mysterious evil forces involved, like evil by our standards, of course. And the Spanish show up and they're just like, holy shit, what are these people doing? Also gold, lots of it, lots of gold. So like, let's do what they did, and then smallpox, and the rest is history, yada yada yada. Right?
What a bunch of bastards.
So you're back now, right?
I'm back now.
Right.
Physically, yeah. Physically.
So we had the empty tent syndrome, right?
Yeah.
So like, what do we got going on now? I'm sure you got something cooking. Come on, spill the fucking beans. No pun intended.
Spill the beans. I know, right? It was like as soon as I got back from the airport, I mean, I had the gears turning, during my whole trip. Like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I have a lot of beans in the old stash, as you know. It's like one of the things you end up. We were talking about it in the Discord, right? One of the things you spend the most money on as a grower is beans. And I have a huge stash, a lot to choose from. But there's a couple specifically that I was very excited to receive lately. They came from 2020 Mendocino. Like an old, kind of, I would say like an old school company, older school, and they deal
been
a lot
around a
with,
while.
yeah, the Mendocino County genetics. I mean, they're primarily photo periods, but they're breaking into the autoflower game. And they have a lot of. They've had a couple on their site. I think one was called like Twizzlers. I'm not the best with names. Look them up. They had a couple on their site, but they have a lot more in the works. And from the talks I had with their one of their managers, one of their owners, like they're very about that, like building autoflowers from scratch kind of game. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm seeing Whiskey Zulu in the chat. That's definitely one of their original autoflower offerings. So like that's one that they just they bred from their photo period strains, made their own autoflower, like kind of took it 4 generations deep. We've talked about the process of turning a photo into an auto. They did that, and they made the selections and kind of did it the old-fashioned way, and now they have a bunch of new varieties coming out, which fucking sound great. So I mean, I don't know how many people have some of the strains that they sent me. I'm not sure if it was like kind of a tester group or what, but um, yeah, I don't want to. I don't even want to like mention what they are because I can't even remember, to be quite honest. I just have a lot of new photo periods. I already got them wet. I'm sorry, new auto flowers from 2020. Already got them wet. Um, doing the whole process. Yeah, the germination has
You're really
begun.
not going to guess the names? Really?
I'm not. I don't know them. I don't know them.
Go
I know you think I
find
do.
them.
You think I do.
Nice. So
I
you'll be
came
getting
so
over.
unprepared. No, like I have them in the folder downstairs, G3. Like I would have to go. I would have to literally go seek out my bean collection and get them and look at the packs. I opened them. I grabbed. They sent me 10 different new autoflower varieties. Okay, 10 new ones based on their photo period lines, and I picked 3. I just mixed them up in a big pile, picked 3, took 1 bean out, got them wet. That was
It was just
like,
you did it totally randomly. You like didn't choose based on
nope,
name or description or anything.
nope.
Luck of draw.
I did it random. Yep, I did it random. Because, I mean, they sent me, a lot of them don't even have names. They were just like the crosses of their photo period variety. And then like they have like a working autoflower breeder that they have, you know, it's a lot of breeders do this. They have kind of like a couple different ruderalis that they'll cross with to make their autoflowers. And it was just listed as the cross on some of the things. So, but looking at their site, okay, looking at the photo period strains and the original stuff, like I mean, everything looks great, and I've heard nothing but good stuff about 2020. So I'm excited to see what they got, man, in the works.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, that's
Oh, you
fun.
know what, dude? We totally fucked up. I mean, we're rusty as shit. What the hell are you
We went
smoking on
right
tonight?
into it.
What am I smoking on? I know. Well, it was an easy choice for me. I had the Caribbean cream, right, in the jars that like
Oh,
nice,
appropriate.
yeah, come back from the Caribbean. Yeah, Caribbean cream. But all day today, I was smoking on some Alebrije. I do have a little of the Blues Rosso left. I just wanted to mention quick. He's got a drop coming.
Oh, it's a pretty plant.
Alebrije of
Oh,
the
it's so pretty.
yep, the Blues Rosso finally coming, guys. And
Shit, didn't you have that in Boston?
I did. Yeah, you
Yeah,
tried it.
you
You
still have
tried it.
some of that left.
A
Wow.
little
Is it
bit. Yeah,
tomorrow?
just
Is
a
the
wee
drops
bit.
tomorrow?
I don't know. Could be. It could be.
It's.
It's
I think
very
it might.
soon. I know. It's
Might.
coming
It's
very
either
soon.
tomorrow or the next.
But man, I
Guys,
heard the
when's
word.
the Alebrije drop?
Yeah,
Somebody mention
tell
it
us
in
in the
chat.
chat. But man, I heard the word Alebrije at least 100 times while I was down there, and like that's as he mentioned, it's a big part of the Mexican culture. They're big into their Alebrijes, and I even brought some back. Like they have these little, you know, these little souvenir Alebrijes. They have
They're
kind of like
fun.
at the gift shop. I'm gonna put them in my pots. Because
Yeah,
I,
how
I,
brilliant.
I am probably gonna, I have to say, I don't, you know, the 3 auto flowers that I've already gotten wet from 2020 is not going to be like all I have going on. I haven't even gotten, like, the germination is not yet complete. I assure you, we're still in the process, but like, I don't know what I'm going to do, guys. As you can tell, my head's kind of all over the place. The Great Reset was kind of like, yeah, that's how I feel. Like it was literally the Great Reset. I was like, where do I
That's
start from here?
hit
Where
hard
do I
by New
start?
Year, New You.
What's that?
Alebrije drop is Friday, January
Friday.
6th.
Okay, on the 6th.
Thanks,
All right.
guys. I appreciate that.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
go check them out, guys. And but yeah, I was smoking on some Blues Rosso, and now the
Yeah, that shit was
Caribbean
tasty.
cream. For real. What about you guys?
What about you, G3?
This is a tester from the Tangy Tip Iguana that just came down. She came out of dry today and got trimmed up and went into jars for cure.
Oh,
So
nice.
hopefully she'll be brilliant. I really love her effects. She's very upbeat. She's a
Ye-
happy girl.
Like,
She makes me a happy girl. We like that.
yeah, without
So,
like anxiousness.
mm-mm, none.
That's
I
good.
don't get plagued by a whole lot of anxiety through sativas, which is insane because I'm generally a rather anxious person. But sativas don't give me a ton of anxiety unless I smoke a lot of it,
Mm,
and
Mm.
then I find myself in trouble. But
nice.
So it's
yeah,
got
they
a.
usually just make me want to move around and like do stuff and get things done. So I like her. She's fun.
Sweet.
I wouldn't say they like make me want to do stuff. It's more just like I can do stuff on sativas and like not be like bored to death or like want to kill myself while I'm doing
Certain
them
ones
so
will make
much.
me like a little too racy. Certain ones will definitely make me a little bit more creative and energetic. And then sometimes they just, it's just too much for me to handle, honestly. I'm wired tight enough. I don't need any, other stimulants besides coffee. And that's enough for me, man. But yeah, no, that sounds delightful, actually. Nothing too powerful in a way, but you still get that
Yeah,
buzz you're looking
yeah.
for. Yeah,
She
keep you going
makes
throughout the
me
day.
able to live my life with a
Hell yeah.
smile on my face. So
Nice.
Yeah,
hopefully
that's
coming out of cure, she'll be even more brilliant. If we can
Sweet.
wait that long. How
so
often did that
it's got some
happen,
like
really? I mean, let's be honest.
Mm.
so it's got some fresh weed terps,
Yeah,
like
fresh weed
not
terps.
fresh weed terps,
Yeah,
like
she was super, like very Fruit Loopy, wax papery type of smell when I was growing her, and when I chopped her. And now she's not as aromatic. I'm hoping it comes back in cure. So we'll see what happens.
interesting. Yeah, no,
She still
that's
has like
like
a fruity, like she's still a fruity girl. I can certainly tell her terp profile. She just doesn't like bowl you over. Like she doesn't
yeah,
come up
yeah.
and like knock you in the jaw with it,
Mm.
which
I think
fruit.
I mean that could be like I mean, it, do we want to say that could be like a thing with autos in
It
a
certainly could be.
way?
It could be a
Like,
thing with me. Like it could be absolutely the way I grew
okay,
her.
all right, it could like I was like I'm assuming that you're a flawless grower, G3, and dryer, of course, and that you made absolutely zero mistakes
What are you
in the
talking
entire process. No, like let's why how so like it is a thing. I've experienced it too, where like you grow the plant, it smells amazing. You chop the plant, it smells amazing. You dry the plant, you take it out of the dry, and it's like, wah, wah, wah. Maybe,
I mean, I wouldn't even
not
go
so
that
much.
far. I
Okay, I'm
wouldn't, but
exaggerating, of course, but
yeah,
like
she's
it's a
just,
little underwhelming, perhaps, compared to the rest of the process. Why can that be? Like, what might be the reason for that? Let's like.
well, I think the dry in general certainly has a lot to do with that. The fact that it's at that stage of its life, like right now where she is probably the least aromatic she's ever going to be. I mean, maybe if she, compared to when she was a seedling, that doesn't count.
Mm.
But like, this is
Oh
probably the
no, I love the
least
smell of a
aromatic she's going to
seedling.
be because all the moisture is in there is at like the very center that has to redistribute
Yeah,
through
so
the
that
plant.
24-hour sweat is going to help a lot, that first 24 hours. I bet you it changes dramatically from the time you put it in till then.
Yeah, that's why I think a plant going into cure, you can't compare it to that same plant coming out of cure.
Mhm.
Like she's not done yet. So
Yeah, no,
I refuse to have any judgment or even say that she's like less. I will say that she's less pungent than I expected her to be
Mm.
at this point. That has zero bearing on anything.
fair enough, fair
None.
enough. No, that's
And
I
that is
mean,
absolutely not to take anything away from the strain
no,
or
no,
anything.
of course
If
not.
anything went wrong, it was me.
It's-
Promise you
but like it can happen. It just like Monsta said, you got to do the 24-hour sweat, of course,
that.
and that's like where right after you dry, as soon as you
Mm.
put it back in the jar. I mean, it kind of like the outside of the buds will tend to be drier than the inside, and you gotta like let the moisture even out through the buds. And it definitely does. I mean, when you put it into that sealed container after drying it, it does tend to like lock in some of those terps and let them like, I don't know, baste a little bit in their own terps. Does that make sense? You gotta get them marinated a little bit before you bring those buds out. You gotta just get the terp marinade going in the jar, shake it up a bit. Yeah, no, it's true though. It's true.
Yeah.
Like,
How many plants have you had that went into cure and came out of it like totally different? Like I had a hulkberry, went into cure, smelled like just grapes and some other stuff, came out like a merlot. Like so balanced and beautiful and multiple facets of everything. Oh, she was amazing. But she was garbage going into it. So yeah, cure is everything.
Cure is everything. Well, I mean, cure is a lot. And it's all part of the whole drying process, as we've mentioned many times. Can make or break you.
Yeah, I mean,
Make
I've
or
had some
break you.
stuff I've been disappointed with that wasn't necessarily hitting hard, and it's changed a little bit during the dry, but I do feel like it's either going to be strain dependent or you're dry dependent. You know, like generally speaking, if it has a pungent aroma, as soon as that shit's dry, you should be able to fucking take it and smoke it and be like, holy shit, and it's only going to get better after that. You know, so maybe it's just just didn't get a winner. You know, like I mean, we pop all these seeds, right, and you're bound to just that's why I try not to do seed runs even with photos, right? Because like you'll have, let's say, like a 12 plant grow, and a couple of them would be like, these ones are killing it, and this one was like, it's not going to be perfect every time. So one seed at a time, you're bound to get one that's you could pop another one and be like, holy shit, like this is the best ever. So
Absolutely.
generally
Just really hoping
speaking,
for
I
that.
mean, all your drawing's the same, right? And you just
Yeah.
had that meth come out, and it was fire, right? So
Mhm.
yeah,
It's just it might just be luck of the draw. Like
yeah.
seriously, I mean, they can't
There's
all be
so many
winners, can they?
variables. Like it would be impossible to like point the finger at one specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
Say that's it.
And you
Probably
have to.
a perfect storm. I absolutely appreciate her and
Maybe they
adore
didn't
her.
like the get
So
your shit together talk.
maybe she was
They're a
just
little
No,
sensitive,
desperate.
I
They're a
mean,
little
Right.
snowflakish.
I find it can be challenging too. Like, so you would say everything during your dry was dialed in. Like, you didn't notice anything. You said you even
She
pulled
was
them a little bit
in,
early too.
yeah, she
All
was
right.
in the 3x3 by herself. I had the 3x3 set up as a dry tent. It was at like 59 and 60.
Yeah, that sounds like it's the perfect time because I fucked up my dry recently with a couple plants, and like my humidifier broke like the last day of the dry. So like when I pulled them out of the tent, the humidity was at like 38 degree or 38%, and I was just like, oh my god, I fucked them all up. But when I put them back, after I would say a 48-hour sweat after they were in jars, then like locked in a little bit, like humidity went back up, but it was still lower than I'd like to see them. I mean, we're talking like 53, 54%, nothing. Like I definitely over dried them, and lost terps in the process. What can you do? But that's just that, when you get a humidifier faulty equipment in the middle of the dry, it's just like fuck, But I definitely am investing in one of those monster machines, dude. I can't not do it anymore.
You'll never go back.
I know. With an Inkbird and just like, yeah, man. But I'm gonna watch the Kind Kitties video on how to make it, not yours. Just
Dude, I can't blame you. I watched that video like 85 times.
was a little too much, if you know. But no, it was she's awesome. She's awesome, and those humidifiers are fucking awesome too. So, my fault. I know how to make one, and I failed to do so yet. So, just man, like I said, the Great Reset kind of. I got all my engines like stalled. You know what I mean? Like I was on full steam ahead, doing like one thing after the next, and then like everything kind of just had to take a break. And now I'm like back, and it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
A little overwhelming. I gotta like rebuild from the ashes. It's like we will build a new society after the germination is successful. In 48 hours, we will have rebuilt and have started anew. But I cannot tell you what the new society will look like. Only that it will probably involve child sacrifice and a lot of dark magic.
So here for that.
You will eventually reveal to us what these strain names are or lineage are, right?
Of course I will. Of course
Okay.
I will.
All right.
Of course, I genuinely wish I came more prepared and had my strain info.
That's okay. Leaves a little mystery
I'm
for the next
sorry.
show.
I know. I'll if you guys really want to know, hit me up. I can tell you. But no, they have a lot of new stuff. Like I said, 2020. Check them out.
Nice, brother.
And shoot, there's just been so many cool new drops lately too. Like like I said, Alabrije coming out with one. I know Night Owl had like a new drop recently. Shoot, we got Mephisto like having like a permanent store open. Is that what I see now?
With like
The
loyalty
permanent
points.
store? What? Yeah,
Like-
what is? It sounds like an airline. What is going on here?
Sounds like they
Don't know.
upgraded their fucking server finally.
I want to fly those friendly skies though.
Oh
Jeez.
yeah.
Does the Captain's Association benefit card get me any sort of reward points? I don't sign up for any other clubs. I just assume that the Captain's Association has me covered. No.
I'm sure. They will. As long as you have your license and your card.
All right. But so like, do they have all their whole catalog like on the store permanently or what?
They're like working towards it.
Like how it used to be?
I think like a rotating thing, but they're gonna have significant amounts of it. They're bringing back like stuff that they haven't had around since before I started growing. I'm like geeking out over the seeds that they're coming
If
out
they
with.
bring back Three Bears OG, one of you motherfuckers better grab that.
Yeah.
If you haven't grown that yet. That's what actually that's what turned me on to meth back in the day.
Oh yeah, then you became a meth addict.
I did.
Lost a lot of teeth.
Yeah.
Did a lot of bad things in alleyways.
Yeah, all for those beans, man. I'll fucking shake that ass,
Well, I'm a meth addict too, dude. I mean, as soon as you make that first order, and what do they do? They do that meth math.
Yeah, you'd order like a 7-pack of beans and get like 12, and then like a couple of freebies with some stickers and shit. Like it was always good.
You order 7 beans, you end up getting like 24.
They did have to dial that back a little bit, but they're still.
It's pretty.
I haven't ordered from them in quite some time, but they're still pretty generous with their offerings, from what I gather.
I'm sure.
Yep. I think if you order a 1 seed, you get 2. If you order a 3-pack, you get either 4 or 5. If you order a 7-pack, you get 9 or 10.
And
then all the freebies.
Ordering single beans to me just seems like a complete waste of fucking time.
I
Feminize
do
it. Do you really?
Yeah,
but like, what if you order that? Like, all right, do you order
only because of meth math?
All right, but like, would you order just 1 seed from somebody, knowing that they're not giving you anything more than just said 1 seed?
No,
because I've seen like seed packs, like
because I get 2
with like cardboard. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen these? It's like, like a cell phone, like prepaid cell phone, or like those anything cheap. Like you have to like it takes forever to open it. it's like cardboard with like plastic and this little tiny one bead in it. And I'm like, what? You shitting me? Like, I don't know. I would hate to go through all the time, money, effort, and energy to order a seed and then have it not germ or something. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
One bean? Like, that's all.
That
And
supposedly is what math is like created for,
well,
just in case it doesn't germ.
Mhm.
Which, I mean, it's pretty
it's
rare that it happens.
so
It
it's
does
kind
happen.
that's an interesting point you raised, G3, that like they assume that even though they do lots of testing and make sure, germ rates are all up to spec, but like in nature, shit, I
Shit
would say,
happens.
you
Yeah.
know, I mean, what would you guess is like the success rate of a just natural, like a crop of cannabis beans that drop on the ground and like, have to sprout in the spring? I mean, shoot, maybe it's 10% success, maybe.
Yeah,
Kind of like how
especially when a
nature
baby
is,
like ours are. Like, we coddle our seeds.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're giving them the perfect environment to germinate, right? You
Exactly,
know,
exactly.
Yeah.
saturated, wet, covered, right? So yeah.
So
It's
it
a
should be
perfect little nursery.
in a
Really.
perfect environment. It should be out, more like 90% plus. And I would imagine that's what they shoot for in testing and stuff like that. But
Generally
yeah, no,
speaking, most breeders shit. I mean, I haven't come across stuff that's like egregious, right? And then I find that a lot of it's due to age of beans. Like the older I hold on to stuff, the less germinate, lower the germination rate is. Generally speaking, for me.
dude, so wait, like my thousands and thousands of beans like aren't gonna last for thousands and thousands of
Not
years?
unless not
Like
unless you're climate controlling
what?
those bitches.
What?
Yeah.
What? I need to build like a vault like they did in Svalbard, like the International Seed Depository. You know where that shit's at?
I've only heard about it.
Dude, Google it. It's like they had to build this shit like in the Arctic. It's just in the middle of this crazy island off. It's really really up far in like the Arctic Circle. I'm pretty sure it's not Russian. I'm pretty sure it's Swedish, or like Icelandic even. But yeah, seed vault in Svalbard, and that's in order to like just in case, just in case of apocalypse. It's like the Great Reset. They just have all the seeds down there waiting to like start again. In case they have to do what Captain did, but on like a large worldwide scale. Essentially, you gotta like let's just stop all growing and re-germinate and see what happens. Yeah, that's the just in case vault. And I don't even know why I brought that up. I just find it really interesting. Something triggered me. I apologize. It's how we go down weird tangents, though. So
The point about responsibly keeping your seeds, though.
yeah, no, but for real though. So what do I need to do? Like build do I need to dig a really deep trench and keep it like if it's at like 50 degrees, like right in that kind of like root cellar temperature? Do you think that would be beneficial, or do they need to be
That's generally
frozen?
how I store mine. I should probably put them in a fridge or something though. I would always recommend like desiccant packs and refrigerator, and don't open them either like all the time to look at them, because
It's
that
hard not to.
introducing from the hot to the cold is what can create condensation. Close that container up. Next thing you know, drip, drip, drip. So there's considerations to be made there too. I'm always in my beans, right? So I don't bother putting them in a refrigerator. I just keep desiccant packs, try to keep them in a cool, dry place without a lot of crazy swings, and that's it.
Yep. Consistency is the most important overall.
Mhm. Yeah, and if you like, if the refrigeration thing is something you'd want to do, maybe try to like plan out your grow, maybe quarterly, right? So you're only going in there 4 times a year to, you know, maybe add new beans or, pull some out. Because like I said, the more you go in and out of the beans, even if they're in the refrigerator, you're just creating more variables. Humans are the fuck up, right? We're the things that fuck things up. Everything
Okay.
starts out at 100. So the more chances that you put your hands on those is just the more likelihood that something bad could happen. Try to eliminate the human variable.
Does keeping like all right, like does keeping them in a fridge introduce humidity like on its own or
No, it
like
shouldn't. Refrigerator's
without
pretty dry. I
a
mean, like, think about it like this: you put things in the fridge, right, and then they
Mhm.
fucking turn bone dry and like suck the moisture right out of them.
You could put them
Okay.
in one of your crisper drawers and like set the humidity to low.
I wouldn't want any humidity, really.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
right,
I
man.
Yeah,
think that's as low as you can get it in a refrigerator.
yeah. I like those. I save those little dinky packs they give you that say "Do not eat." I tried eating them one time anyway. They don't taste that good. But no, I'm just joking. I save those and
Yeah,
I throw them in my beans.
like the
So
ones they
like,
put in like shoes.
yeah,
No shit.
yeah. I just throw them right in my bean container. They're gonna absorb moisture.
Oh, I just usually throw them in my soups. I mean, they're way better that way. No, don't do that.
I
Don't
think
eat them. Don't eat them, kids.
Yeah,
They're
you
not
I
can
as
love
do
good as
that with
Tide
like
Pods.
rice.
I love the
but
fact that they have to put "Do not eat" on that. It's like unreal.
Dude,
I actually think that most of them are actually not toxic. They're just worried about it as a choking hazard. I
Well,
read
plus
that
it's all
somewhere. I can't cite my
it's gotta
source.
be slightly indigestible. It's fucking silica. You
I'm
know,
sure
like it,
it's not going to make your day,
yeah,
but
yeah.
not
I
gonna
don't. It
make.
probably won't kill you.
Why don't you try it? Fuck around, find out. G3, let us know.
No thanks.
No,
Actually, once I
I
ate a
think enough
silica
people have
pack,
already fucked around to find
and
out
it
in that
made my
situation.
day. Believe it or not. Believe it or not.
I
I
don't.
wrote the company too. I told them it was like made my fucking day. I'm gonna do that again. But no, that's a great tip. Though I mean, seriously, Monster. If you have like a little jar of those things, add them to your, whatever container you're storing all your beans in.
Mhm.
That can just prevent like excess moisture.
I literally
Great
have a
idea.
box full of those little packets, all in various sizes. So like whenever I get one, I just add it to my collection and then I grab as needed. I love those silica packets. They're handy too. I also put them inside my electrical panels to absorb moisture,
Or
Oh,
just in
that's clever.
case. Yeah.
I've heard of people doing that. Like it's kind of like that trick they hear about, like if you ever get your phone wet. Like
Yeah,
rice
do
does
not
that.
use rice. Rice will
No.
temporarily work. Here's the thing though about the phone getting wet. Like even if you dry it out with silica, what the usual culprit is the corrosion from the minerals in the water. Um, so if you can like get that after you get it out of the water, right? It's already been in water. I know this sounds crazy, but ISO. Um, I throw it in ISO and then silica.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
ISO's what a weird substance, man. It can be used for so much shit.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
100%.
Mysterious. It's dark magic, dude. Dark magic. It's what I clean my bongs with, and also flammable, and
You huff it and
at the same, it's like the very, you have to be very very careful when you're cleaning your bongs and using your bongs in like the same kind of time frame, and you're using rubbing alcohol. Like and I have a good friend who almost lost a limb and burnt a house down because of a rubbing iso alcohol mishap, and just like forgot for a second. He's already a little stoned, had to clean the bong, and then like maybe forgot to like rinse out as well as you usually do, and
Mhm.
fuck, man,
Yikes.
fuck.
Was he okay?
Yeah, oh yeah, he's fine. He's
Was the
fine.
bong okay?
Is the
Bong's
bong okay?
fine. Bong's fine. Yeah, yeah.
That's the
He's
most important part.
just
The bong's okay.
luckily there was fire extinguisher handy. Like just keep always advised to have one of those handy. It's one of the things the Captain's Association teaches you. First thing,
Safety first.
safety first. Date your fire extinguishers. Make sure you know where your exits are.
Cheers.
And cheers, and make sure you keep your passengers aware of any detours and mishaps in the flight plan too. It's one thing they're very 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 good about making you notified. It's like this is your captain speaking. We're on Due to weather, we're taking a slightly different path than our originally intended course, and going to be actually arriving at our destination 30 hours sooner than intended. So
30 hours sooner.
you know, I mean 30 minutes, like 30 minutes. Just sit back and relax and enjoy the flight. And it's like, wait, how the fuck did he do that? Why are we arriving sooner?
Yeah, why couldn't we do that to fucking begin with?
What? It's exactly everyone.
Yeah.
It's just like you're like, hey, huh? Wait, huh? I don't understand. Why wasn't the original flight path the best one?
Yeah.
How did this work?
Tailwinds.
Yeah. You know what was funny about when we came back from the Emerald Cup, right? Because our flight got canceled as well, and we had to catch another one, and it was a fucking pain in the ass. And the pilot, the same thing. Oh, you know, we were moving, you know, got you here about 35 minutes early, and then no shit, we sat on the fucking tarmac for like 45 minutes. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, you fucking kidding me? That's like the most frustrating point of
Yeah.
flying for me, honestly, is the takeoff and the landing. Not that like it's stressful. It's just like, dude, can we get the fuck out of here already?
Yeah.
Like, come on, let's move this fucking show on the road. I have no patience for that shit. You know, I really don't.
You fly a lot.
No, not too much. I actually prefer to drive most of the time. I like driving, but you know, I ain't driving to fucking California. That's fucking crazy. But yeah, every time I fly, it's the same thing. I get fucking bullshit about the takeoff and then, you know, getting off the plane. The getting off the plane is the one that really gripes me because it's like, all right, I just want to get the fuck off this tin can. Let me off this plane, please. You know, thank you. Rant's over.
You're counting down the seconds, man. As soon as you board the damn thing, I hate it too because they cram you in there.
Yeah,
this little tiny little space,
Mhm.
right? And it's just not where you want to be. No personal space, and like every second you're on the tarmac is just like you haven't even started the flight yet, so it's the extra time involved. And dude, it took us an hour and a half, even like getting out of Mexico, just to get the fuck out, you know, up in the air. It's like flying is such a nightmarish experience in all ways, man. And then when you get to the airport, God forbid you check a bag, man, and you have to wait for the bag to come out on the little turny thing.
Yeah, that's also stressful. I try not to check bags because of that, honestly. Because, you know, you hear about people losing their luggage and shit all the time. Like, I don't want to depend on that. But I mean, a trip to fucking, you take a trip like that, you pretty much have to check a bag. I mean, you know, I can't see you bringing it all in a carry-on and a backpack, but
I tried. But one of the things that too, like you have to worry about is these, like they make you limit your bags to 40 pounds each.
Mhm.
So it's like even a big suitcase is like underpacked because if you go over 40 pounds, it's like, you pay extra. It's
40 now? Wasn't it 50 not that long ago?
It was 50.
Oh
like,
my God, dude.
Yep, it sure was. Now it's 40.
Definitely.
So
I'm a genius at Tetrising things into a suitcase, but man, you put it on the scale and
and they even like make you take shit out. Like when you're at the airport, you put it on the scale, right? And they're like, it's 41 pounds. And you're kind of looking at the, you know, girl behind the counter. And I kind of like gesture to my captain's hat. I'm just like, come on, can you,
let
this one,
who I am?
let this one slide here. Just this once. And she's like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And just like, man. So you got to like, yeah, take a pound out of one bag, and then this bag had 38 pounds. So fuck, man. But it's all over, and now I'm just back to, you know, good old fashioned garden life and being a podcast host, and it's a good time. Good time.
Nice.
I do know you like I don't know what triggered my memory. Okay, like we can finally talk about one of the strains that I'm growing. I know for sure. I don't know what triggered it in my head. Okay, but one of their brand new varieties of autoflowers that I was perhaps most excited about was an Afghani, like a pure indica.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's actually. I don't think there's like quite enough, like real like 90% plus indica.
No, there's a lot of highly hybrid shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Almost everything feels like a hybrid these days.
Yeah.
And
Everything is
even
a
if
hybrid.
they are labeled as not a hybrid, they still feel like a hybrid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to have like a pure knock your socks off.
That'll be
You
fun.
know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And an Afghani to boot, which, like a nice old-fashioned land race that has stood the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
I guess we would call it the broadleaf variety, and it's one of those like stout plants, known to put off like a nice deep purple color, late in
Mm-hmm.
fade, and like the effects of this type of weed are much more sedative, much
Yeah.
more like body high oriented.
100%.
It depends person to person, of course, but I would say to generalize, yeah, like the broadleafs are more like a nighttime kind of thing.
Yeah. Generally speaking, there are exceptions to every rule, though, which is great about it. But yeah,
Yes, sir.
100%. I agree with that statement. I endorse that statement.
So,
I believe in that statement.
Are you already
excuse me.
planning on like adjusting things for their variable height?
No, I'm not actually. That's a good question. I'm not. I don't anticipate them being as like no. For some reason I don't
I randomly
anticipate them
picked
being
3
small.
strains out of 10, and I think they're all going to be exactly the same, except one of them is a pure indica.
Oh,
Should
no,
be
of
fine.
course.
It'll
You
work
mean
out great.
no,
No
well this
worse.
is G3, of course. We're talking about like one of the like this is going to be in the 3x3. The 3 by with a little more hand with a hand watered kind of thing. And you know how I do the stacking like
Yeah. So
trays underneath.
you
Like
are
yeah,
going to use your
I don't
stacking. You're
yeah, I
not
don't
like
care about yeah.
okay.
It's not they're not going to be linked into the auto pots which are stationary on the ground, that kind of thing. I know. It does take a little bit more forethought to plan out like that kind of a tent, of course. When
Yeah.
you
You
do
got
a
my mind wondering now, right? I actually feel like there's a way for you to still be able to do that and use the autopods.
there is. We talked
You
about
just
it with Luke,
raising that
and
res up real high.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. He even mentioned a way to like automate the process of like filling a reservoir that high, if I'm not mistaken. It's just like sounded like a lot of work. At the
Not as
time
much as you think, to be honest with you.
I know. Nothing really ever is, man. But no, this is to answer your question, G3. I don't worry about it because it's hand watered effort, and I can adjust as needed. And yeah, we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, just again, but if I'm gonna do that in an auto pot situation, you best believe I'm putting a lot more thought and
Yeah, that would
I'm
be
gonna plan out
difficult.
my like rebuilt civilization a lot more than just letting the gods kind of pick from a yeah. If you have any ability to control what's coming next in society, like please do so.
Hmm.
And you have to the germination shall be rebuilt, but it must be planned first.
Nice. Oh, you know what? None of you fucking rude pricks asked me what I'm smoking.
I'm sorry,
What are you
dude.
That's
smoking?
okay, I'm just fucking with you. I love you both. Um, actually, Jesus Christ. Oh, so I started off with some of that Riddles. I had like 2 more rips of it, like in the Dr. Dabber. That was nice. And
Mm.
then we transitioned over to some flower, and it is pure Michigan. I hadn't smoked it in a while, and I came back to it, and I'm glad that I like took a break from it because I really love that stuff, right? But it was like towards the end, like about a month ago, I was like, I don't want to even look at that shit again. It was just like I'm sick of it, and I took a break from it, came back, and hello, my old friend.
Aw, that's nice.
Like a nice hug from a
It's good
friend
that
you
you
haven't
didn't leave it
seen.
that way, you know?
What's that?
It's good you didn't leave it that way. Like push through that feeling until the very end, and then you had nothing left, and then
Yeah.
just left that strain with that feeling in your mind, like, that would be
Mm.
terrible.
Yeah, well, no, I knew that I would honestly, I knew that I would come back to it Sunday, but I'm just like, that's enough. Like, it was, I don't know what it was, honestly, what happened, but maybe it's just my mindset that day. But yeah, I was just like, enough of that, and I just pushed it away. And then I was going through the jars before the show and looking, and I just opened it up and I took a whiff. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go for that.
That's the
So yeah,
reaction you're looking
Familiar
for.
smell.
it
Those
is,
meat
yeah,
terps, dude.
yeah, 100%. I've just been trying to grind hard with any free moment I have working on the garage. So I've been like worn out um, for the last couple weeks, just grinding hard, man. I'm real fucking close,
Almost done?
yeah. So I'm laying up Reflectix tomorrow in the rooms, and then a couple of more things, and we should be up and running here real quick. So we're already live. We got the power, rock and rolling. The common area still needs to be like taped and finished. Like you finish the sheetrock and paint, but like that's like the last fucking thing on my mind, honestly. Like I'll do that later. Yeah, just trying to get up and running.
Damn, man. Well, sounds like you are indeed close. Now, do you have any plans for that space when you're done it? Like
I
what's
I do actually. I'm glad that you asked.
yeah.
Yeah. So for all you autoflower enthusiasts out there, we will be filling at least one and possibly two of those flower rooms with autos. And
Holy shit.
I'm not polycropping. Okay, I'm monocropping, so one room will have one strain, one room will have another. I haven't decided what yet. But yeah, stay tuned.
Oh, that's exciting as
So
fuck, man. That's
excited!
just
Yeah,
really
so
cool.
the first maiden voyage in the garage will be autos.
Oh, in auto pots, you said
Of
too?
course.
Hell yeah.
Of
Hell
fucking
fucking
course.
yeah,
Year,
'cause
new you.
of course. I mean, well, dude,
As
it's
much as I wanted to do
that's
them
cool.
to my right here in my testing zone, it just hasn't been able to work out. Like every time I turn around, I acquire something new, like a new genetic, and I'm just like, I have nowhere else to put it. So I just never been able to keep that room empty. I need to keep it for what it is. So um, this will work out perfectly, and it'll, shout out to Mac Attack Gardens. I love you, brother. And go fuck yourself.
Ah, well, we all love Mac too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
He's the best.
definitely go fuck yourself. No.
Mm-hmm.
We love you, dude.
No, that's
Uh,
terrible.
we
Don't
yeah,
say
Yeah,
it.
well, it's a
it-
term of endearment for me.
it's
You haven't figured
it's
that
like a
out by now.
it's like a big
I
hug.
get it.
Mm-hmm.
Big hug.
Mm-hmm. If you
It's
could
like a
see this sign over here that says "fuck you," that was actually a gift from Mac when he came to Boston, and I cherish that sign. I know it's just, an Etsy special, but the thought is what counts with the gift, and I absolutely love that. So
I got a gift from Mac too. I don't even want to show it on camera, but it makes me laugh every time I look at it. So
dude,
it's
that was awesome. That was really awesome.
I know.
He put
I
some
know.
thought into that one as well,
Yes, he did. He
which is
did.
perfect.
He sure did, man. But dude, auto flowers and auto pots, man. Like it's. I mean,
So we are
'cause
changing
we've
one thing. I
talked about
don't
it.
have the time or forethought right now to do an organic run. So we're just going, regular monster technique
Yeah,
here.
yeah, old
But
fashioned. Do
yeah,
what you know.
it should be really fun. Um, I got a bunch of different shit to run through, so I haven't quite decided. I may need you to send me that pack we were talking about earlier. I'll tell you later. I want to keep it a surprise so we can keep it special.
Okay, any pack I got in the
Yeah,
Svalbard
because like I
seed
said,
vault.
we gotta
Yours.
completely monocrop this bitch out so I can have success. Yeah,
All
it's gonna
right,
be fun,
so we're
man.
gonna do
I'm looking
all
forward to it.
one, man. All one auto flower. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Me too, man.
I'll be
It's
really
gonna be fun.
interested to see with you monocropping with the variables. in the are, they're autos. You're gonna have some
Yeah, there's going to
differences.
be some for
Oh,
sure.
100%. But with stable genetics, I've found that, I mean, it's been a while, right? But generally speaking, they're pretty consistent,
You
in a
have
lot
like
of
a
ways.
specific
They are.
generation you're
I
looking
mean,
for, like
No,
something
no.
F.
all right.
I'm
So,
kind of just gonna go through my options and then weigh everything out, right? And just pick. Basically, I
Mhm.
want to do 6 plants in each room, so that's a requirement that I have at least 6 beans of said genetics. So, um, they're 9 by 6 rooms, so 6 plants should be pretty good for that area. Spread out nicely. Um, yeah.
all right. So you just made me think of something now. We've
Uh-oh.
we,
Is that
we've
the
been
smoke I see in the background? Or did you just hit the bong?
no,
Oh,
well, I didn't hit anything. No.
oh.
You seen smoke?
You
Where?
said
Where?
you,
There's smoke
you said
behind me?
you said you were
Smoke is
thinking.
Oh,
outside.
it's
Oh,
true. You got me thinking. Now, like we just, we in the midst of the tangy tea we want to grow along, right? We've seen people from all over the planet, for fuck's sake, with all different grow environments and all different growing styles, grow the same autoflower strain. And I'll tell you what, every time I scrolled past one in my feed, I sure as fuck knew what it was, right?
Hmm.
Like it was more than obvious to me. Like, oh, that's a tangy tea iguana. Oh, that's a tangy. Oh, that's a tangy tea. Like I could tell right away, which
yeah, that's true.
is amazing, right? Speaks volumes to the consistency in like a given strain. I mean, I was genuinely surprised to find that. Now, what's even more interesting, are they not F2s?
Being typical honest, I was just wondering that, like,
Yeah,
what
which means you should
generation
get
are
a,
they?
a, a
Which,
fair amount of
You should
which
get
variance.
means
a
that like, I mean, not you, I mean, I guess what it means is that of all the generations, you could expect perhaps more variation
Hmm.
to exist than in any other. But like, I mean, I think I saw like maybe at the most three different phenotypes, but like there were definitely like there were two primary primary phenotypes. I saw a lot of people had that like the old flaccid leaf one that just kind of had those droopy
The structure
leaves.
is what's most important to me as far as, being, similar, right? I want them to all, and from what I gathered, I mean, I wasn't paying like 100% close attention, but they all looked very similar in their structure.
Yep.
And that's the most
Hatcher.
important part for me, as far as, and then, feed as well too, right? Like, so if you have a couple of plants that just aren't happy, right, with what they're getting, and that's the thing with autos, you will run into a few that are light feeders, right, and they're not going to like what the rest of them are. So it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me that way, because I haven't used my newts on autos. So I'm going to definitely dial it back quite a bit and just have to read the plant, right, and let it tell me, hey, I need this, I need that. One thing I wanted to kind of talk about though is, I see this, now. This doesn't generally apply to organic growers, although I think it can, depending on what you're doing. Like maybe for you, Cap, like you're using like the bud bread and things like that, right? So I see people with deficiencies, right? Whatever, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, especially like late in flower. And, a lot of times what you'll try to do is attempt to just try to give it just a little bit more of that, right? And I found that, at least for me and the people I help, that if I spot some sort of deficiency early on, I just bump up my base newts and I just give them more of everything. Because here's the thing, right? These nutrients are designed to work at a certain ratio, right? You start fucking with that ratio, trying to add this, trying to add that, trying to add this and that, you generally are going to fuck things up or not be 100% where you want. Now, there's exceptions to that. Like if you have a fucking magnesium deficiency, you can just spray a little Epsom salt and be on your way, right? But at the end of the day, it's generally a little easier to just bump up your newts a little bit, maybe 15, 20%, 25%, and then just give that plant a little bit more juice. And I think that you'll be better off, keeping everything, all the ratios the same that way.
Oh, if I'm hearing you correctly now, you're speaking to maybe like, most people typically when they'll see a deficiency and they'll try to like identify, which of the you know, which of the macronutrients or even micronutrients,
Hmm.
what specifically, is it nitrogen? Is it phosphorus? Is it calcium? And then they'll like target that one deficiency and give it more of that one particular thing. But I think you're speaking to kind of the changes in like the nutrient market in a lot of what we're seeing lately, especially, I mean, even with what I use. I mean, the Bud bread in particular is a great example of it, where it's just like a base nutrient, as you
Hmm.
kind of meant. That's a lot of what people have nowadays too. It's just like and maybe it's a two-part base, right?
Hmm.
There's
Yeah.
an A and a B, but like that's the base, and it's got kind of a blend of everything you need in it.
Hmm.
I don't think there's that many people, honestly, anymore that are doing um
Well,
like
I think
nine
there is.
part,
I
10
run
part.
into it a lot of times. Like, for instance, most people would be surprised to hear. I mean, we don't really talk about it too much, I guess, but I haven't picked up a bottle of CalMag in years. Way before Athena, people were like, oh, CalMag's in the core, and it is. But like, these base nutrients that you're using have a really good amount of calcium, magnesium, and then if you just bump up their ratios a little bit, if you're having some issues, the plant will respond and I think be much happier than just trying to force feed it one thing. Because a lot of times too, you can be wrong. It's so easy to look at a deficiency. Even myself, I've been fooled. You look at something and you're like, oh, that's a potassium deficiency, and it's really not. It's something else, right? So you have to like sometimes just take a simpler approach. It's kind of what I preach all the time, man. Like, this isn't that hard, right? Don't try to be a fucking rocket scientist. Just bump up your base newts if you're seeing something deficient, right? Because chances are, if you're deficient in one thing, you may be deficient in something else, within a few weeks. Because by the time you see that deficiency, it's already established that it's been without what it's needed for quite some time. So bump up those base newts. It'll be much easier, and I think you'll have better results.
Man, dude, I mean, I think most people are switching to that type of, a base newt kind of blend thing anyway. If you haven't,
Hmm.
check them out. Like, they have them in both organic, non-organic. Doesn't matter. It's way easier. And like you said, Monster, I mean, it's not going to hurt the plant to just bump everything up. If it's deficient in something, in all likelihood, you're going to see deficiencies in other areas a few weeks later. So just,
Mm.
I mean, that's nine
Have you
times out of
ever
10.
have
I'm
you ever
sorry,
seen
G.
a deficiency coexist with a toxicity? Ever?
Oh yeah, but
I
that's
haven't
pretty.
personally.
No, no, I mean, have I seen it? No, but that's altogether possible. I shouldn't say I haven't seen it. Yeah, I mean, I've seen people push their plants too hard and get like a heavy nitrogen burn at the end with a phosphorus deficiency. So, yeah, it could happen. Um, Again, that kind of goes back to whatever you're using for nutrients, right? So generally speaking, your whatever you're using in flour is going to have a little bit less nitrogen than it would in veg. And if you're using like an all-in-one, then you usually end up bumping up your PK with a PK booster to supplement the fact that you have an all-in-one. You can't bump that up too high, right? So there's different methods and different approaches. And as usual, if you guys have any questions, pop over to the Discord. We got plenty of people that'll help you, including myself. So, yeah, link
Word.
is in the website, cultivationconversation.com. I get asked all
Oh
the time,
yeah.
hey, where can I find a link? Where can I find a link? It's on the website, cultivationconversation.com. Just go right there. It'll bring you right to our Discord, and you jump on in. It's free, and it's a good time. I mean, every day we get new people popping in, so
Yeah,
it's
man.
fun to talk to new people and we have, dude, we're like international, motherfucker. We got people all over the place, right? Ireland, Norway,
Yep.
Sweden, Australia. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but yeah, all
Canada, United
Canada. Yeah,
States,
of
and
course.
shoot, I mean all the regulars, of course, but
Yeah,
no, man, you're right. It is amazing, and shout out to all those fine folks on there, and we appreciate appreciate the community. Honestly, that's what it's all about for us, at least. It's one of the primary reasons we wanted to start this conversation was to just have you guys kind of continue it all the different ways. It's amazing to see like the different channels light up all throughout the day and night. People are talking grow, people are talking shop, people are talking genetics, people are talking hash. I mean,
shit.
dude. We were getting like wall posts, man, like effort posts today about hash, man. I'll tell you, these people are passionate about their craft. It's like it's amazing.
Yeah.
No,
It's good. It's good to see that type of passion in anything, especially
We
cannabis.
love it.
Yeah,
We love it, man. No, I just read him. I'm just like I can only just like smile and nod sometimes. Just like you guys get into some heated discussion sometimes. I'll tell you what. But at the end of the day, I think we can all agree it's grow or love. We're all here to learn, and I think it's the passion that comes through is when you get disagreements and different ways people go about things, it can get a little heated sometimes. But man, we're never like, no, it's not heated. It's in that kind of like stoner way where it's just like maybe people get like a little more intense than usual. But end of the day, we're all chilling, maxing, relaxing vibes, and shoot.
Did you just spit a little bit of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Did I? I don't know, man. I'm like I said, these bong rips are doing me differently since I got back.
They hit different. Yeah,
they sure do,
cannabis,
dude.
man. Yeah, 100%. But when you have like even though you had that like vape, right? It's not the same, man. Like
Not at all.
The flower is where it's at. I don't care what anyone says. I love that little Dr. Dabber. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely a more accessible way to dab. I fucking love it. But dude, you'll never take away my bong and flower. I'm a flower man. I love it,
Yeah, me too. It's a beautiful thing. Dude, it was so funny, like I'm walking around with like my little, my cartridge and battery thing all day, just like tooting on it. Like, of course, at one point, I get a glimpse of this dude next to me on like a beach chair. he's doing the same thing, right? Puffing on his little vape pen, and I'm just like, yo, my dude right here knows what he's doing. Like, just vapors unite, with our smuggled vape cartridges into the country. It's the way you got to go. And he's like, yeah, man, like you know how much I wanted to bring a fat sack with me and just enjoy some nice weed on the beach, but it's the way it's got to be. It's a necessary evil.
I still think next time, at least if it was me, I would vacuum seal some flour and bring it with me, just a little bit.
Not gonna lie, you
I'm not
probably
telling
could
you
get
to. I'm
away
just
with
saying
it.
that's what I would do.
After seeing the carnage of modern day airports and the lack of actual staffing and people,
You could be like me on the way to Emerald Cup, in Boston. I got torn apart in security. Like it was unreal. Oh, dude, it wasn't fun at all, man. They literally like tore apart both. I just had to carry on a backpack. BGG's standing in the corner because he went through me and he's just watching. And I'm looking at him. He's trying not to laugh. Because they dumped out both my bags. Just dumped them out. Everything. And then they're like patting me down, and it's not your pat down, it's like a rub down where like pretty much every inch of my body was touched. They're like, do you want to go into a room? I'm like, let's just do this here. Like, I don't have anything. And dude, they're rubbing my fingertips for like bomb residue and like all this stuff. I'm like, dude, dude, it was fucking crazy. I'm like, do you guys realize I live in this state and I'm going to California? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Do I look like a terrorist? But whatever. And then, dude, here's what's fucked up about the whole thing, though, is so now I'm like, kind of like I don't know, for lack of a better word, like gun shy to fly with anything, right? So on the way back, I had a bunch of shit, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to get on the plane with this. Like, you know, I just had a buddy mail it back, right? But um, in the front of my backpack, I had an empty cigarette pack with like 4 or 5 roaches. That was just, that mesh pocket like on the front of your backpack,
Huh.
dude. Right through
Oh, right
security,
in there, yeah.
dude. Like I'm walking,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I could just like, and
Smell
I
a
look,
little something,
yeah,
something.
yeah, dude. It's so they, what's funny is BGG and a bunch of people too told me like, dude, they don't give a flying fuck at San Francisco Airport. So they literally did no fucks to be given, dude. I swear to God, everything just flew right through. They in Boston, they're like, take out all your electronics and blah 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 blah. Dude, everything was just in the bags and gone. Now, granted, for those you don't know, the terrorists boarded planes in Boston for 9/11, so it makes sense that things might be a tad stricter there, but it was still fucking. I couldn't believe it.
Dude,
I've
you know
never gone
what?
through that before,
You
ever.
know what they care about? Like, in all honesty, like what they ask you, at least going internationally, like in the customs guys, like they care about fruit. Okay, they care about seeds.
Yep.
They like it seriously. Like if you brought your bean collection with you internationally, we might have a fucking issue.
Oh,
Okay?
100% because they don't want some indigenous, some plant that's not, native to that coming in and fucking things up. There's a plant actually, I don't know if it's in your area. I forget what it's called. It's like this purple flower that somebody brought over from Japan that has literally just taken over parts of the roads here in Massachusetts, and it's like literally invasive. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, like that's why they're so strict about that shit.
They care about like if you're like an entomologist and you brought your like insect larva collection with you, like they definitely want to know that. And just like the weirdest shit. You're just like no, they in all honesty, like those guys are not there to like take your ounce of weed from you.
No, I
So
mean the TSA even
you
made an
know,
announcement about
yeah,
that they don't give a flying fuck about weed,
use
unless you're being
use
egregious.
yeah, I mean, use that information as, we accept no liability whatsoever as, we are not your attorneys or advisors in any legal capacity. So yeah, don't get caught, guys.
Yeah.
But just saying, I brought in a couple vapes, like very easily, and I felt the same way. Kind of, I was just like, you know what, shit, if I knew it was like this, I'd have probably brought more with me.
Yeah,
But
I was bullshit that I didn't bring my shit back with me. You know what I mean? Because I had my dabber and a bunch of oil, and I was like, man, it's like sucks. I got all this shit now. I got to leave it here and wait for a buddy to mail it back. Don't want to blow up this dude's spot, but you know who you are. Thank you very much for getting that shit back to me.
nice, he
Yeah.
did you a solid.
Oh hell
So
yeah.
yeah, dude, that's like trick too. If you ever go on vacation, well, at least like nationally, right? Like, so if you live in a non-legal place, right? And let's say you travel to a legal place. Like I did this to Colorado a couple of years back. Got a bunch of really great weed while I was out there on a trip, and I like couldn't finish it all, because like it was great, and I ended up getting a lot for a good price, and just I wanted to bring it home with me. Didn't want to bring it on the plane. Just mailed it back to myself in an unmarked envelope, allegedly, of course, allegedly. In an unmarked envelope, just slid that shit in a one of those big blue mailboxes, and just we did a thing.
Nice, bro.
Did a thing, but just hey, could have could have gone a little differently, I guess. I guess when it's all about like when you receive the package. If there's like an unmarked van outside your house or something like that, you're gonna want to be a little careful.
Yeah. Believe me, they're not doing that for your ounce of weed.
I don't think
They
so.
do. No.
Don't think so.
Again, I'm not.
Don't think so.
I'm not telling you to go out and break the law, but some people are a little too careful, and I kind of find it a little funny. But G3, the hell do you got going on in the garden?
Oh
I was
man.
wondering.
So Tangy Tip Iguana came down and she is in cure now. I have Florence, who is my Mephisto tester. She's the new CBD cross. So
Is
she's
it?
Jackie White or Jackie Hemp CBD by Walter White.
Do they have a ratio on that? Okay.
Mixed ratio.
Mixed. Oh yeah, that's the mixed ratio one. Yep.
Yeah. So I have that tester running. I have my Peppermint Kush photo period in the secret closet upstairs. She's coming down like tomorrow. And then Florence is going up there, and then that's my last. She's my final candle plant for now. I don't know how I'm gonna fit these two in there, but in addition to Florence, I also have the Mango Smile for the Grow Together with the Your Average Grow Boys.
Oh wait,
So
we're
I'm growing a
doing
Mango
doing
Smile
another
with
mango
them.
grow along? Another
Yeah.
mango smile grow
I
along.
always
No
say
shit.
no to a Mango Smile Grow Along.
No, you
I
can't. You really can't.
don't.
All right, all
I
right.
don't.
Yeah, why not?
Mango
Just
Smile
looking for
forever.
another excuse to. Yeah. Hey.
All right. Well, shit. Now I gotta find room for one of those fucking things.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I wanted to
So
grow that anyway. The problem is I only have 3 of the beans, so I'd love to fill a room with that shit, but I only have 3 of them, so
yeah,
I'll definitely have to pop at least one of those because
you
I'm gonna
should.
have a small veg area as well. So I think a tangy, or I mean, yeah, tangy too, man. What the fuck?
Yeah.
We'll do a mango smile in there because I love that smoke. It's just so unique, you know. And when I grew those years ago, I had to look back. I think it was like 2018 or whatever. Um, they were awesome. Like big honking
Huge.
fucking plants too. Like,
They're still big, man.
yeah,
Still very big.
yeah,
Yep. So I'm gonna do her in the auto pot.
hell yeah. I think that is a home run. And what size area?
And like a 2x3.
Perfect.
And she's got to share space with. I have another Mephisto tester coming.
Okay.
Oh God.
That's fun.
You're doing more than just one mango smile and a 2x3? That sounds.
I'm
Wait.
doing a Mango
In
Smile.
an auto pot?
And
Wait.
yeah. Well, the Mango Smile is definitely going to be in an auto pot. I don't know if the Mephisto tester is going to be an auto pot. That's their new gelato cross.
Mmm. Gelato.
Yeah, so that my CBD cross one right now is just being hand watered, and I'll think the other Mephisto tester will probably be hand watered. So the Mango Smile will be the only one on the Autopot system. So it'll just be her. She'll be like this great queen. She gets the res all to herself. So exciting.
Nice.
Probably be huge. Probably be
I
huge.
know.
All right. Well, I'll dig through the seed vault up in Svalbard, and I will try to see if I have another one left, another one of those beans. And if that's the last one, you know what that means. Just gotta order more. Always have to have.
Is that something that's available from Meth? Is mango?
Yeah, is it on the new?
I don't know if it's available right now, but it is like intermittently available. It's not gone.
Mm.
I just
Shout
don't know
out
if it's
to
on the store right
Sacrificial
now.
Waffle actually for hooking me up with the 3 mango beans that I have.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah.
Shout out, buddy.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah, honestly, it's gonna be cool to see you do that. Yeah, truly.
I'm
You know,
excited to have her again.
I like
Hopefully
had a
she
weird
will not be one of the Amazon ones, you know.
Amazon ones. What does that mean?
But like the Amazonian, like giant 7-foot
Oh my God.
tall mango
They're
smiles.
like ancient Mayan.
Yeah.
You know what you could do
Amazon
is just train it early on and keep it short.
I could. Yeah. I'm actually considering topping her.
You could. I always advise against it because you can get very similar results with just bending the top down. And yeah,
But then they're not symmetrical, and that really fucks with my head.
I understand.
I'm the same way, G3.
Yeah.
It just bothers my soul to look in
just
my garden
can't
and not
do
see
it.
symmetry. I know.
Yeah,
I
it
understand.
bothers me.
No.
But if you, I guess that just means you have to bend 2 of them and then like kind of
I mean,
angle them
I think
across from
we
each other.
have a
Yeah,
famous quote though saying that, you're not afraid to
I'm not afraid to
bend a
bend a
bitch
bitch
over.
over. That's very
One
true.
of the best quotes ever.
true. It's true.
But
But
yeah.
in a
I
little
mean,
bit
we'll
of a
have to see.
way, I don't know.
I know she's gonna need some training. All the mangoes like training. So yeah, I'm just excited to grow her again.
Hey,
I've missed her.
it's one of the challenges of training. If you do it like the traditional way with like a green garden tie, kind of, and like, attaching it to the pot, some other fashion of holding a branch down, like it's really one of the challenges is trying to keep it somewhat symmetrical. At least I
I
try to do that.
spiral up as I go up. So like if you start with two across from each other and then you have the next two nodes are directly across from each other, right? So then the third one's up, they want to be directly above the first ones. But you don't
Mm-hmm.
want that because then the bottom ones won't get light. So you move them I go clockwise because clockwise it's manifestation rather than banishment. So I go clockwise and you just move them with a trainer of some kind. Green garden wire is fine, or bud trainers, or whatever. You move them, I don't know, what is that, like 45 degrees? You just pull them slightly to the side. And then the next one up, instead of it being that for the next one, you pull them clockwise again and have them be slightly to the side. And then they spiral up and they're beautiful. And then you still have all your symmetry.
Very
Definitely.
true. I noticed the same thing. It's that you have to create a spiral effect. But
Mm-hmm.
the trick is to like bend them as you bend them laterally, you have to do a different angle for each layer of branching. So then you're not like, you're not just moving them to occupy the same like column of light, basically, as it were. In the light column in your tent,
Right.
So you all want to have a little different crevice there. Um, you know what I'm talking about. Make
There's
that
something that can help
nice
dramatically
spiral
though
effect.
to really control that height early on when the thing is like 6 inches high, right? 8 inches high. You know those little plant markers that you like stick in the soil that like plastic PVC,
Mm-hmm.
right? I used to bend those over and make a U and then just stick it over the plant and like bend it right over, like almost in half. Um, and that'll literally take, a few, probably 6 or 7 inches off that plant's, final height, which helps a lot when you're trying to keep the thing short, especially some of these like dude I've seen some of those tangies get like monsters, dude, just out of control,
Yeah,
another one I
very
seen
big.
get crazy is BGG's Odin Son, like
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
holy shit, like that thing looks like, you know I mean, it's a very appropriately named, and with mango, same thing. Right. So, yeah, I find it important for me personally to get what I'm looking for out of a lot of the, not just autoflower, but any, genetic like that that's going to beast out. You got to want to trellis those bitches, in my opinion, and spread them out, and just to get the most out of them, And then two, the other thing is when you trellis that out, you're creating good airflow for everything else and spread because some of them too, right, get like I find they get the node spacing gets a little tight and things get squishy and branching doesn't happen quite the way you'd hope, right? Just the thing just grows up like a big like bush
Well,
without
I
really
was just
branch
gonna
out.
say it can be more important. Like if you're like me and you're planning on growing one of those short, or they tend to be a squatter, shorter plant. Those
Mhm.
broadleaf varieties.
Yeah.
It's perhaps more important to get that kind of like let each level of branching occupy a different like space in the light column.
Mhm.
It's more important because of the node spacing. You only get so much of that top there. You want to maximize each one that you get, and it's just an important thing. And you only get so much chance. You don't want that indica to grow up and look like a cabbage when it's all grown up. You know what I mean? That's how they start out in veg. Those
Yep. My meth
You
wedding looked like that. She
right,
was a
you know you get
cabbage until
yeah, yeah.
she had stretch, and then she
Cabbage, yeah, that's a
remained
great analogy,
kind of a
honestly.
cabbage.
You know
Mm.
you got one when it looks like a cabbage or a broccoli or some kind of a brassica plant that you're like, wait, what? Am I growing a fucking yeah? Is this weed or a cabbage?
Yep,
Um, my
cabbage.
my my creme de la creme definitely reminded me of that, and like the node spacing is so tight on those suckers too.
You know what's like that is neurotoxins. A lot of those neuros are
Yeah,
like just like, you know, I forget who. I think it was somebody over in Biff. Maybe it might have been Baz. Like, it wasn't that plant, but it was one that looked like. He's like, dude, that thing looks like Hulk's dick. It's just like fucking like a short squat, like fucking nothing, like
like
straight, you know.
we used to
Yeah,
call them in what were they called, a chode?
yeah.
It's like a chode. It's like
Mhm.
what wider than it is tall, you know? Like that's the kind of effect you get with those broadleaf ones.
Yeah,
Is that what you were shooting for with like a Hulk's dick? Like
yeah.
it's a chode? I don't know, man. But no neurotoxin, you know why? Because it's I think Joint would even tell you neurotoxin's at least an 80% indica.
Yeah,
It
that's why it's so special.
yeah.
You know,
It's
that's
at
like,
least it might even be more like a 90,
yeah,
95.
yeah. That shit's just, unreal. I actually got a room I'm getting ready to fill with some Supreme Leader, so stay tuned for that.
Nice.
I had to rebuild the room. We had some issues. Wasn't tight enough, really. It was a retrofit that I had come into to help somebody out, and I hate doing those honestly because it's never things aren't the way I want them to be. So it had to be torn down, and not to the bones, but like pretty close, and kind of done things over a little bit. Basically light placement and ventilation was completely out of whack. And, to optimize everything, I wanted to take it all down, replace the poly, put more insulation up, make things tighter. Because at the end of the day, right, if your space is uninsulated and you're trying to keep it cool or trying to keep it warm, you'll pay more money, especially these days with utility usage. Costs are through the roof. So, to try to pay more electricity, I mean, the air conditioner never shut off in the summer, and it's an 18,000 BTU in like, I think it's like 9 by 11, the room. It's not that huge. And 18,000 BTU should be able to do the job with, I think it was like 2,400 watts of lighting. So, and it just couldn't. In the summertime, the room would just pound heat. So I'm hoping this helps. Yeah. But yeah, Supreme Leader's going in that room. And then neurotoxin should be coming up soon. I just haven't had the time to pick through the moms I have. I don't even know if they're male or female. I've just been so fucking busy lately. Um,
That can wait.
yeah, they're just chilling. And for those of you wondering, they're not in solo cups. They're in 3 gal pots. Took them out of the solo cups because I would have left them in there, but honestly, unlike a lot of shit I've kept in solo cups that long, they weren't happy. So I had to take them out and put them in bigger pots. But yeah, so look forward to that soon. Supreme
Yeah.
Leader.
Got
Yeah.
a lot of extra space, man. That's nice to just have like the luxury of doing a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, well,
Cool.
what's cool about a lot of the stuff I do is it's, not just for me, it's for other people, but this one here is just going to be just for me and my cousin and I. So, I'm real excited um to be able to, put this together and lay everything out the way I wanted, right? Like built from the ground up. This is exactly the way I want it. Nothing's retrofitted. It's to the T. I mean, shit, we ran 100 amps of power out there, and I'll never, ever need that amount of power, but it's good to be able to know that I don't have to worry about anything, right? Like, if I need to plug something in, I mean, there's receptacles everywhere. Each, zone is basically on its own receptacle. Look, each 9x6 room has two 20 amp circuits, plus a dedicated 20 amp lighting circuit, and then the mini splits will be on their own 20 amp circuit. So there's literally no way I'll ever use, more than I need for power. It's good to have things
Overbuilt.
spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because like here's the thing with grow equipment that people don't realize. You're running this shit a lot. Wire builds heat. So if you're pushing your circuits at, maximum capacity all the time, 24 hours a day, that's when shit can go wrong.
Mm,
So
or even
it's good to
close to it.
Yeah, it's good to oversize things and things will run much cooler and be happier.
It's always a good rule, man, and especially when you're rebuilding or building from the ground up, and you can choose to do it that way. Of course, err on the side of overbuilding as opposed to like needing the electrical when you're down the line. Like who
You'll
knows
actually
what you're
use
gonna.
less power too if you're overloading stuff. Because, for instance, if stuff's running hot and it's running for long periods of time on long runs, like long 100-foot extension cords, that 1500-watt space heater is probably going to use like maybe 1550 watts or a little bit more because it's got to draw more power to get that same energy over that long distance of wire. Um, so there's things to consider there. Always try to oversize if you can.
For
You know,
sure.
yeah.
For sure. You know what I would do if I had all that space, all that extra new space? Try to do like the Mayan did, implement some dark magic breeding program where you like take the plants that sprout on like these 5 days every month and you sacrifice them in the name of the larger garden, and
Mhm.
the success of pleasing the gods of germination and flowering and all the cycles. Sacrifice the young ones. So you have like this 9x6 space right here is just going to be for the the sacrifices to the gods.
Sure, if you just I'll just figure out what it costs to run that room, and you send me the funds, and I'll be glad to do it. Not, yeah, no, that'd be a total waste
No,
of
yeah,
time.
I know.
I
Of
know.
course it would. Of course it
Yeah,
would.
but
But no, yeah, there's no.
it
I don't
sounded
think
like
there
a
would be
great
any
idea until
benefit.
it's not.
Nope, nope,
Yeah,
nope. It would be a complete waste of space, but it could be funny
mm.
if you want to waste some space and be funny. But no, dude. I got nothing, man. I'm still like I said, I'm in the midst of the great reset, and I just want to thank everyone for watching, listening, being part of the community. I want to thank you guys for coming on, doing a show every week.
Yeah.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
I
Um,
look forward to this. It was the week off was nice, but coming back and doing it, takes a little bit to get going, warming up.
Yeah, man, especially like I mean, like I said, I just got some beans wet. It's like, as exciting as I can make it as a grower. It's like it's not the most exciting part of the grow. So it's like I almost feel like I got nothing going on. It's
Mm.
tough to talk about stuff when there's not too much happening. So, um
Oh, one thing before we go. Listen, guys, DC's coming up. Get your shit together because I don't know about you, but I'm definitely going. All right. And, the more people that come,
going.
the bigger the place we can get. I want to get this thing booked. April is around the corner.
Yeah.
Now is a new year. Listen, if you don't have the funds and you want to go, just get in touch with me and let me know when you'll have the funds. I'm sure between the three of us, we can, maybe help a few people out. Like we want everybody to go. We know Christmas was just happened. Everybody's tapped out, but I mean, guys, it's shit to get off the pot time. The place we originally wanted, Wiz Khalifa probably fucking snagged it. Not even kidding, because it was the best place available. So,
Was pretty
yeah,
bomb.
yeah.
It's
So,
all right.
yeah, let's get your shit
But
together.
yeah, shit or get off the pot.
Yeah,
It's time
we gotta
to
get this
buck
place
up.
booked. So, and then listen, I don't care at the end of the day, but we need to know because what happened in Boston, we had people sleeping on the floor, which was terrible. I don't want. That's what will end up happening. I mark my words, it's gonna happen. There's gonna be people that are like,
It'll
oh, I want to
happen.
go, and you'll be sleeping on the floor. So
It'll happen.
let's.
Of course it will.
Mhm.
It's I guess it is an option, but we'd rather that not be the case because
Nah, because look, at the end of the day, the
end
more
of the
people that
day,
come, the bigger place we can get, the cheaper it
exactly.
is for everybody. And, plus, dude, I mean, the more people, the better, right? The more the merrier, is the saying. So,
More
um,
the merrier.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
get a hold of us on Discord. Yeah, thank you guys. I want to thank Mad Hatter in particular too for
Yeah.
always helping us behind the scenes. And
Check out his show,
Yep.
Pro Exchange. Oh,
So
sorry.
good.
No, hey, you reading my mind, brother. And you know, like all the guys in our community, dude, like the average, your average grow podcast, doing fantastic work. The crafting cannabis podcast, doing fantastic work. Like when we're ever on a week hiatus again, you always have content coming out. I know, so check up on what these guys are doing, please. And thank you guys. Happy New Year. And do you guys have anything else?
Don't get caught.
Don't get caught.
Well, of course, besides that, yeah, no, that's should be a given at this point. And yeah, thank you guys. Happy New Year.
Thank you
Talk
to
to you in a
everybody.
week. Adios.
Nice.